What is the difference between a twin pregnancy and a singleton pregnancy? Hi guys, karibu kwa familia yetu. Hello guys, it has been a while. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. I haven't sat down and just chat with you guys in a while, so let's do this. One of the biggest difference with twin pregnancy, and this is going to depend on what kind of pregnancy you're having, right? So if you're having fraternal twins, the pregnancy is people say it's fairly normal. It's not as high risk. If you're having, so there's mono twins, mono-di twins, di-mono twins, or di-di twins. And that's just, it almost explains the type of twins they are, right? If they're sharing a placenta and a sac, if they're sharing a sac but have their own placentas, if they have two placentas, two sacs, all of those things kind of add up to the high risk of the pregnancy, right? My twins, and you can look up a little bit more about that type of twins that people can have. So I was having mono-di twins. So they shared a placenta and a sac, but just had a small membrane dividing them. But other than that, they shared everything, identical twins. So I remember the first things I was told, and this was at our 12-week checkup, the anatomy, I believe the anatomy scan, was that there's a possibility of something called twin-to-twin transfusion, right? This is like a twin-to-twin transfusion, what is it, TTTY or something along like that. I don't know what. They have little, you know, short names for them. And that was the biggest concern during this pregnancy. Now, because of that, I was informed that I will have to see a specialist a lot during my pregnancy. So we had my regular OB and then a specialist as well after 12 weeks, right? Now, when I went to the specialist, they did inform us that they noticed I didn't have twin-to-twin transfusion. The sizes were fairly normal. The amniotic fluid was fairly normal. And this is after seeing a couple of specialists. However, they noticed that blood flow between the twins was not very strong, something along that line. And that one twin, which was twin B, Atara, was getting a little more blood than twin A. And they were afraid at any given time, the blood flow would stop between the twins, right? So the main worry is twin-to-twin transfusion, but I didn't have that. I had something else completely. Because of that, and I can't remember those medical terms at the moment, because of that, they had to keep an eye out on me as much as they could. So along other things they worry about when you're carrying twins, this was one of the biggest ones, right? It was like, we're afraid that at any given time, that blood flow will stop between your twins and they will only have a few minutes and both of them will die. And because they were sharing placentas and they were sharing everything else, if one dies, the other one dies too, because that was their form of nutrition. They were also worried that one twin would get more nutrition than the other. I think that's part of the twin-twin transfusion. So because of that, about 14 weeks, so fairly early on, I had doctor's appointments every other day. And during those doctor's appointments, it would be an ultrasound. And I mean, not like a couple-minute ultrasound. I'm talking a 2-hour ultrasound where they're looking at the blood flow, the blood vessels, they're looking at how they're growing, they're looking at the amniotic fluid. So I would be at the hospital every other day since 14 weeks for about 2 hours until about 20 weeks. And then things changed. They were like, we're noticing a higher risk of this blood flow between them. I went to see a specialist. At this point, we are having a conversation on whether or not I should be hospitalized full-time or whether or not I can manage coming in every single day. I remember going in a 22 weeks appointment and the doctor telling me that the rules were, if I were to deliver them before, I believe it was like 23 weeks, or was it 22 weeks? they wouldn't even give him a chance to be in the NICU. They wouldn't help them, right? Like my twins had to be bigger or past a certain week for them to be put into the NICU to help, even if they were delivered fully breathing. It was just, imagine hearing that as a mom, right? Imagine hearing that. So every day as I'm pregnant with the twins, I am praying that I make it to another week. I am praying that I make it to a safe week where the doctors can actually help my babies. So I was told by the specialist that they are not trusting the blood flow. It's getting more dangerous, so they want to see me every day, right? At the time I was working full-time. I also had my son. Ezekiel was a couple of months old, maybe 9, right? We're forced to put him with a nanny. We didn't have family member to help us. So what I would do is I would go to work, and then I would use my lunch hour to be in the hospital. Luckily, I was going to Johns Hopkins Sibley Memorial, and that's where my neonatal specialist was at the Sibley Memorial, and it was only about 15 minutes from my job at the time in Bethesda. So during lunch, I would drive to the hospital. I would spend 2 hours at the hospital for them to check on the blood flow of the kids and everything. And if things look the same, then I would go home. And every day I did that. Oh man, I think I did that from 20 weeks to 32 weeks. And I've talked about the birth or the day that I had to deliver my twins before in a different video. But if we want to talk about preparing for a twin pregnancy after you found out you're pregnant, I think the biggest part is preparing for the unknown, right? Which sounds like, how do you prepare for the unknown? I wish that I was mentally prepared for the things I actually had to go through before, while pregnant with them, and after I had them. So for while pregnant with them, one of the things that you should hopefully prepare for is the fact that at any given time, and that's with any pregnancy, I understand, but it's just a higher chance with twins. Again, depends on what kind of twins you're having. At any given time, right, you might be hospitalized, like you may become bedridden for the rest of your pregnancy, right? At any given time, you might go to the hospital and it's like, surprise, you're having this baby today. You know what I'm saying? Also, I think that if you have a therapist or if you can afford one, please see one, because the mental strain it had on me, thinking that any day my babies can come out at any given time, that scare, that, oh my God, they're not moving, that is this it? Like, oh God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying. I went to the hospital every single day for that many weeks, and I still never had a peace of mind. I never felt like, okay, it was just that when you're constantly going to the hospital being told like this could happen at any given time, like when do you have peace? Right? When are you peacefully pregnant? I think that was the hardest part. It's just like always being on edge and wondering, is this today? Is this happening today? I think also just preparing for twin pregnancy is like, it's not like a singleton pregnancy, you know? The comments you get from people are just so unwanted and unwarranted. Like, oh, better you than me. Oh, your hands are gonna, please. Man, but as far as the differences, those are some of the differences. Are you bigger? Yeah. Yeah, you're bigger. The thing to prepare for is, of course, with every delivery, there's a possibility of a C-section, but there's a higher possibility of a C-section depending on the twins. Like for me, they didn't even give me an option for a vaginal birth because of how the twins were. One of them was breech, one wasn't. Also, they were sharing again a placenta. They were monodial twins, so they were like, the possibility of them being delivered vaginally as like very slim safely. So a C-section was literally almost like the only option I had. So you should prepare to know that that may be your only option if you're pregnant with twins. Again, not to say that every twin pregnancy ends up in a C-section, but a lot of them sometimes are. That's another thing to prepare for. And also the worst thing to prepare for is the possibility of spending time in the NICU. It is high. and this may depend on, even if you have, it depends on the twins you're having. Well, like I said again, and every pregnancy is different. We all deal with different things, but there is a possibility of them being born early. How early depends on a lot of things, but kind of mentally also knowing that's a possibility and start preparing for that NICU stay, because that also is its own type of mental battle, physical battle, tiredness, you name it. So that's another thing to prepare for, is a possibility that you might end up having your babies in the NICU. And then also just randomly, you don't have to buy 2 of everything. I wish I knew that. I bought 2 of everything and we don't use 2 of everything. So yeah, you know, those are just kind of some of the things that I wish I knew before while I was pregnant with twins. I really hope that this is helpful. And if you are pregnant with twins, congratulations. We're elite. We are elite. We are superhumans. I don't know how else to say it. Like, if you're elite status, okay? So welcome, and I hope that you find a community of moms you can even talk to. That's very important as well, especially if you do end up in a NICU. And if you need a mom to talk to, follow my Instagram. I always respond to my DMs. You can also comment here. I will gladly follow yours. Let's just be friends. I got you. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and follow our family's journey. And I love that you guys are here. And once again, if you are expecting twins, already have them, congratulations and welcome to the elite club.